Hey yo, what's up, everybody? It's your man damednydc, host of the Two Mics Up podcast, back with a season three banger. I'm telling you, I'm excited today. Today's guest, man, it's kind of a game changer in a way with where we're moving in our world, in our space and place. The pandemic, and kind of working through that. I kind of see this really impacting, our infrastructure in a way that maybe none of us have really thought about. And before I get into that and really diving into what I'm talking about, because I'm going to leave you hanging for a second, I want to thank our sponsors. They've been a huge help to the continued success and growth of Two Mics Up here. And if you feel like you're interested in becoming a sponsor, reach out to us at vp2micsup at gmail.com. TD3 Insurance, Bubbles and Brews Philly, Riddick Entertainment. Like I said, shout out to you all and thank you for your continued support and for advertising here on the show. So, as I digress and get back into what I was speaking about, the world's moving towards uh, electronic vehicles. And I remember as a young child, uh, there was a cartoon called The Jetsons. And we were talking about, they're talking about flying vehicles, which again is on the horizon. But we're in that phase where we're moving away from gas to electric. And I never thought that we would be at the place that we are with so many electric vehicles, coming to the forefront, Tesla and the likes building vehicles at such a rate. But there's a part to this that I guess really plays a prominent part in how this really gets within the infrastructure, gets into neighborhoods that look like us in the black and brown community. And I'm really honored to have this gentleman join us today. And I'm going to bring him to the forefront. This is our good friend Joshua Aviv. This brother is really, like I said, for me in my mind, when I read the story and started digging in, really at the forefront of something that's really huge. So before we really start diving in, Joshua, could you just take a few moments and really, let us know a little bit about yourself, where you're from?
Yeah. So, hello, everyone. Super excited to be on the podcast. My name is Josh Aviv. I'm the founder and CEO of SparkCharge. At SparkCharge, we make portable charging stations that allow electric vehicle owners to have their car charged anytime and anywhere they want. We just released our new mobile app called Charge Up, which is now allowing EV owners to choose the time, date, location, and have their electric vehicle charged anywhere they want, whether it be at home, at work, or out on the go. The same way that you order food through Uber is now the same way that you can have your car charged. Push a button and get it delivered.
Wow. Wow. That whole concept right there, ladies and gentlemen, like if you didn't really hear what this brother was talking about, we're going to get into that because that's really amazing to me when we think about how, when this first started, the way that charging was being done and how you had to do it. And now where Spark Charge has now really kind of developed a niche or a way to get into the infrastructure of these, because you really had to drive at one point to go get your vehicle charged if you couldn't afford to do it at home and things like that. So before we get into that, Josh, can you share, where and how, did Spark Charge originate?
Yeah, so started the company in my dorm room while I was a student at Syracuse University.
Wow.
We were the definition of a dorm room startup. I remember going into class one day and the professor saying, hey, if you want to change the world, learn more about electric vehicles. And I remember taking up on that offer, meeting with him after class, and starting to really deep dive into, electric vehicles, electric vehicle infrastructure, the problems, the limitations around them, and how, those problems could be solved. And from there, really grew the company from, a dorm room startup to, I think, now we're close to about 30, 30 employees across the country. So it's been an exciting journey. It's been an exciting ride, and we're just excited to continue to grow and scale.
Man, incredible, first of all. And please tell me if I'm incorrect, because I read somewhere, you got like one or two heavy hitters like really involved and really help uh, push this through. When I say like Mark Cuban and the likes of that, have they taken an interest in, like, I'm just want to make sure that I read this correctly. You've got some really powerful people behind this concept and bringing this to fruition. Is that true?
Yeah, so I mean, we were very fortunate enough to bring on some top tier investors, include Mark Cuban, Lori Grenier, Steve Case, the founder of AOL. We've got some of the most amazing investors you could ask for backing the company, that truly believe in our mission and vision to help revolutionize the electric vehicle industry.
Man, kudos to you, my brother. I mean that just makes my hair stand up, man. I really love when we can take things, like I said, you heard it as a challenge. It sounds like, and you took that challenge, you made that your vision, and you brought your vision to fruition. And I think so many of us, we really need to hear and see people that look like we do in the black and brown community, and as a whole, that all things are possible when you really take on a challenge and make it your own. And I have to ask though, so when you really get into the specifics, right? And I want to kind of simplify this as best I can and kind of getting into like three-part question. Like, so what are you actually building, right? And we kind of understand why, but I think more importantly, like how are you building it?
Yeah, so and when it gets down to it, what we're building is the world's first, ultra fast, portable, and mobile electric vehicle infrastructure. And how we're building it is really simple. It comes in two parts. The first phase is, building the technology that enables you to have a charge delivered to your electric vehicle mobily. So, we had to build out our first portable DC fast charger, right? We spent the first couple of years building that. We sold it to businesses. We went out and we made deals with companies like Allstate, Ajero, AAA, Honk, Urgently, you name it. We really, encapsulated the roadside industry. Then we said, well, let's go after fleets. So we struck deals with, companies like Spiffy and
Mm,
Booster,
mhm.
so that they can service their fleets. And then we said, well, there's this untapped billion-dollar market in convenience charging. How do we get into that? And we said, no one else is really going after it. We work with a lot of OEMs. We work with a lot of people in a lot of organizations in the EV industry, but no one's attacking this market. How do we go after it? And so we developed our own app called Charge Up, and we
Mm.
launched it in Dallas, San Francisco, and LA. And within the first, I think 3 months, we delivered somewhere close to 40,000 miles of range to EV
Wow.
owners. And we're
Wow.
currently on track to deliver close to 100,000 miles of range by the end of the year. And so you think
Wow.
about, how you're doing it. The first part is developing the mobile charging technology itself. The
Mhm.
second part is putting that technology in the hands of the EV owner and allowing them to request that technology to them regardless of time, place, geographical region, whether they can always have it delivered to them anytime, anywhere they want with the mobile app.
So, I mean, all of that, man. I mean, what hiccups though did you find early on that were deterrents, I guess, because it seems like you kind of got in really at that perfect moment where things were kind of built and set in place for you. But what were some of the difficulties that maybe you ran into trying to, you know, get your process out to all of these, like I said, OEMs and all of these, transport companies and owners and ownerships and dealerships. What did you incur that really kind of that you feel like, man, this is gonna be a problem? Like, and you really had to work to fix or get around, these holdups or these blocks.
Yeah, I think the first problem we encountered, especially early on, was the fact that people didn't really think that electric vehicles were going to be that prominent.
Mm,
When we first launched, the company, people said, oh, electric vehicles are, they're not going to take off, they're not going to stick, it's going to be gone in a couple of years. We really had to spend a lot of time, I guess, fighting those assumptions. And
mhm,
then once those assumptions were kind of passed, as the industry kind of matured and moved on, it became more of an educational piece. So we went
mm,
from this, state of where some people were just in denial about electric vehicles and not wanting to believe that they would, really grow, to now educating people on the electric vehicle market, educating them on the makes and models, the nuances of owning an electric vehicle, the limitations of owning an electric vehicle. We really had to switch from, this defense to this educational
mm.
piece. And then, that was kind of like the midpoint. Now, a lot of people know about electric vehicles. A lot of people drive electric vehicles. And
Right,
now
right.
it's really about saying, okay, here's how we can truly enhance and grow this market. So, the denial part is over. The educational piece still exists somewhat, but a lot of people understand it. A lot of people get it. And
Mhm,
that's really when we've been able to help, reap the rewards, because people finally understand what we've been, out here trying to accomplish. And so we've been able to move faster and work with more partners because of that.
Yeah, and I do want to ask because you mentioned something in there, and so we do have a lot of different makes and models now, uh, with EV vehicles. So with your charger and the app, like, is this like a universal piece, or is this something like that you have to create per model, or like how does that even work? Is
Yeah, it's super simple. So I mean, it's just about universal. So we
okay.
we service just about every battery electric vehicle or fully electric vehicle on the market.
Hmm. That's pretty simple then. I mean that straightforward. You can't really, you know, I don't want to say f up with that, but you can't really mess that up. So that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and
So
the app tells you which cars are being serviced in that area.
oh okay. So it's a really all inclusive. So like you said, it's like, almost like a menu. It's a EV menu.
Correct.
Huh.
When you're
Okay.
when you're when you're signing up, you see your car, you select it, you upload your car's information, and you're good to go.
This new technology, boy, I tell you, it's something else. So then, Josh, what would you say is the mission and the vision of SparkCharge, and how do you see that play out in the community at large?
Yeah, so our mission and vision is to help grow the electric vehicle industry and to really help scale EV adoption across the country. When we think
Hmm.
about, what that means for the community, that means allowing electric vehicle adoption to happen in communities. So right now, if you go to buy an electric vehicle, there's some expectation that you have access to a charging station. Whether you live in a house, whether you live in an apartment, a condo, where have you, there's some expectation that, you live in a place where you have access to this infrastructure. And the reality of it is that that's not really true for everyone. Not everyone lives in a place where their apartment complex or condo is going to provide them access to, a charger. That's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. With a mobile charging network, you can essentially have range delivered to anyone, anywhere, right? So
Wow.
regardless of where I live, regardless of if I live in a dense area or a sparse area, regardless of if I live in an apartment, a condo, or a house, I can have range brought to me. So if
Mhm.
you can remove those barriers, remove those hurdles around where, when, and how do I charge my car, essentially you can help grow the electric vehicle market at a faster rate, thus improving communities that typically didn't have access to that technology to begin with.
Man, that's powerful stuff right there. Uh, I didn't even think of it in that manner. So then let me ask. So like you mentioned, dense cities. Where is the app available, or where's your services available? Is like this all 50 states, or is this like a growing process, a budding process that you're working on? Like where are you at right now in that process?
Yeah, so we are, our launch cities are San Francisco, Dallas, and Los Angeles.
Hmm.
And then we're looking to add another 3 to 4 cities over the next coming months.
Oh man, I cannot wait. And look, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna throw a curveball question because I'm not an EV owner, but my wife and I are seriously considering it. But I got Josh, you got an EV? You are
I
you
do.
still on gas? Oh, you do? Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right, well, so this gentleman here is speaking truth, and living his work. So I mean that's awesome. Um, you know, this right here is really going to be a game changer, I think, as we move on. And within that, so where do you see the evolution of vehicles itself? Like, do you still think that there's going to be uh, a more how do you say it, a better increase in mileage from a charge as we grow along? Because, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate with this question, because if the vehicle is giving better mileage, let's say, how does that impact, the need for, let's say, spark charge? And that's just a devil's advocate question that just kind of hit me.
Yeah, and it doesn't really impact us at all. I mean, we
Mm.
charge cars now that have, 300, 400 miles, and they
Oh
still
wow.
request range to them. And I think
Wow.
you really have to think about it, right? It's not a factor of the car's mileage and how much energy is in the battery. It's a factor of the infrastructure. And anyone
Mm.
you talk to, any OEM, anybody who's really in the EV space will tell you that infrastructure is very far behind. I mean,
Hmm.
think about this, right? There's gas stations on almost every corner,
Hmm.
and gas cars still run out, right?
Right.
That's why
Right.
towing operations are still in existence today. And if you think about it, I think there's close to 100,000 gas stations across the United States, but I think there's just over 5,000 DC fast chargers.
Wow.
So think about that gap, and then think about the time it's going to take to close that gap. It's really not about the mileage that's in the car; it's about the infrastructure. And we help close that gap to infrastructure, and we help make that convenience a lot more, accessible. So whether the car's got 100 miles or the car's got 300 miles, the accessibility, the convenience of mobile charging will always be there, and I think it's something that people really love.
Oh, man, look, I love it. I mean, I'm excited about it to be honest. And I'm like I said, I'm not a electric vehicle owner, but I mean, just the way that this is moving, and plus for our environment, like let's just be honest. Our emissions are terrible, with these gas vehicles, and what I see and what I believe and what I've read, electric vehicles can do just by saving our environment. I think we should invest in it, and continue to work towards progressing in that manner. So, real quick before we continue with our questions, I want to just take a quick second to jump into a quick break for our sponsors: TD3 Insurance, Riddick Entertainment, Bubbles and Bruce Philly. These are our platinum sponsors here. Two mics up. We're all about supporting small businesses. TD3 Insurance Agency protects and covers all your insurance needs from auto, home, renters, commercial, specialty, and life. TD3 Insurance is based and licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, North Carolina, and New York with a brand new office at 3985 Prince William Parkway, Suite 206. Give Cliff a call. He'll help take care of you today. Riddick Entertainment, what can I say? Riddick Entertainment is a multifaceted event management firm based in Northern Virginia. Riddick Entertainment's detailed creativity and precision event planning will give you a truly meaningful and memorable experience. Contact Riddick Entertainment at info@riddickent.com. Last but definitely not least, Bubbles and Brews Philly. Man, this is an amazing vintage mobile prosecco and craft beer bar. If you really want to take your event or party or whatever to the next level, contact our friends at Bubbles and Brews Philly. They do great work. Contact them at Bubbles and Brews Philly at getcozybars.com. Tell them two mics up sent you. We are back today with an amazing gentleman, amazing brother that's really helping change the game as far as the electric vehicles industry and technology is concerned. Joshua Aviv, uh, he's the CEO and founder of SparkCharge. We're going to allow him to share that information, but you guys really go read up, follow what's going on with this brother, his company at SparkCharge and what he's doing. I'm honored and I'm proud to have him here today, man. I just love when, we're just so blessed and creative by design. And I'm a big fan of the work that young men like Josh is doing. And Josh, coming back, out of the break, I just have to ask, so what other work had to really go into creating, this first mobile ultra fast charging network? We talk about infrastructure, but what nuts and bolts and detail, maybe someone listening, what did you have to go through from inception to design to presentation to getting this out? What really went into creating that first mobile network?
Yeah, so I mean, on the hardware side, that was a good three plus years of iteration. We had really great engineers working for the company, still do that. Developed this amazing technology in house. I mean, we went
Mm,
through so many iterations, so many ups and downs, so many barriers we had to figure out how to get through and walls to jump over just to make that technology a reality. I mean, we came out of it with a bunch of patents, which is awesome, but
mhm,
um, really the hardest part was developing the mobile technology that allowed the network to exist,
mm,
developing a DC fast charger that was light enough for you to carry but powerful enough to charge your car, right? And I think
mhm.
that's something that took us 3+ years to develop and make a
Wow.
reality. I mean, we really started with an idea. We really started with just this thought of wouldn't this be a great idea and can we do it? And then we sought out and started working towards it, and grew it into, the amazing company that we have now.
Man, that's awesome. And those are the things I like to share. Because I think a lot of our audience, they sometimes they see the end result, and we think, oh man, it looks easy, but we don't really understand the work and the process that it really took for you to get to where you are and creating. Uh, if I'm saying the correct, Rody, it's the actual unit name
Hmm.
that's used. So Rody um, is really a lightweight portable battery, and I don't want to lessen it, but that's pretty much what it is and what it does. So does it come like, do you have trucks, vans, delivery?
Yeah,
Y-
it's a lightweight portable charging unit that mixes, a proprietary converter, and then also a proprietary battery pack, that together, when combined, allow an electric vehicle to get charged at a very fast rate. And then you take that technology and you apply it to, a mobile platform that we developed, and now you've got yourself a whole new mobile charging network that EV owners can tap into and have access to, regardless of, where they're at or where their car's at. You've now essentially made, charging your electric vehicle as easy as pushing a button, and that's something that, in the history of electric vehicles, was never done before. So to build out that core technology in the roadie, and then to build out that platform and that network with ChargeUp, it's something that we're, extremely proud of.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that pushing of the button on the app is called Charge Up.
Correct.
Charge Up app. So take me or our listeners, because like I say, I'm a little old school, and I still sometimes fumble around. But from I mean, because if this is like Uber, I mean, I'm just go ahead and I'm downloading it. Like, where can we find and download, and kind of walk us through that whole process?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's super simple. So with ChargeUp, you can download it from the iOS or Android store on your phone. You can select, how much range you want, where you want it, what time you want it, and push a button and have it delivered to you, on the spot. It's
Hmm,
essentially
damn.
energy on demand. When you
Wow.
want your car charged, it gets charged, and the range gets brought to you. You don't have to go find it. You don't have to sit and wait at a charging station.
Wow.
It's meant to be convenient, simple, and easy.
Wow. I mean that. Look, I'm sitting here. I'm just shaking my head. I mean, that's mind blowing. So, with all of that, then, so where do you see, or what's next in the development for Spark Charge? What do you see next?
Yeah, we've got some really amazing products coming out. Can't talk too much about them, but we've got some really amazing products coming out over the next couple of months. We'll also be looking to scale the service. So, we'll go from 3 cities to possibly, I think, 6 or 7. This is the time in our company's history when it's probably the most exciting, right? We are
Hmm.
growing faster. We are developing, some amazing technology to help improve the network. We've got a lot of exciting news that we can't wait to really share with, a lot of our followers and a lot of, our fans over the next couple of months.
Man, like I'm excited to see where this is going. Please, I'm going to work to stay in touch. As things come out and things that you can share. We'll work to have you come back on. If you have any news that you want us to share, we'll be happy to share on our platform. Um, I'm excited for you, man, and I'm excited for this hearing your journey and your growth in such a short time, because it's only been what, 3 or 4 years that from your inception or from the idea to now that you kind of put all of this together.
Yeah, it's been, it's been a couple of years. It seems like it's been longer just because, it's been quite the journey. But it's definitely exciting times to see the company grow, and scale at the rate that it's growing right now.
Man, awesome. Well, before we close out today, uh, on this amazing episode, inspiring episode, and I hope anyone listening, in your dorm room, in your basement, in your closet, doesn't matter where you are, if you hear the call for a challenge, accept the challenge and go ahead and put forth your best effort, because things like this can happen and they do come true. Joshua Aviv, if you could just take a few minutes, my brother, just go ahead and share with our listeners, where they can follow you and Spark Charge, where they can get information about Spark Charge. Just take a few minutes to share that with our listeners and our audience before we close out today.
Absolutely. So, first of all, I want to say thank you to Two Mics Up for having me on the podcast. It's been definitely an enjoyable time here talking with you guys. You guys can follow us at SparkCharge on social media. You can follow me at Josh Aviv on Instagram. Feel free to connect on LinkedIn. We're always available. We love talking with supporters. We love talking with customers, and we always love feedback. And the support that you guys give us is what keeps us going. And we've been, very proud about that, to have a lot of, really good loyal followers. So feel free to reach out. We love talking with people. We love learning from individuals. The electric vehicle industry, it's the first industry in the world where a group of people have come together to make change in the world for the positive. So, we're excited to be part of that. And, feel free to reach out to us. We're always available.
Awesome. Hey, and before we go, because I have that, because this is one of the things that we've kind of sunk back into this depression, or not depression, but this pandemic, which for some of us it's depressing mentally. Um, how has that been had an impact on maybe your business or your business model, or do you still find that you're still growing at a rate that's kind of been part of your plan?
Yeah, I think if anything, this situation that our country is in with the pandemic, and with the global pandemic for that reason, people have actually taken a stronger look at the electric vehicle industry, right? Because here's an industry that can actually make our planet better, and so I think because of that, we've actually seen an uptick, not a decrease, which I think is something that is a testament to how strongly people believe about electric vehicle and this electric vehicle revolution happening in our country.
Hmm. Interesting. I don't know why this that one just kind of just struck with me. And with that too, are there, these are just kind of off the cuff because it's just dawned on me, and I apologize. Are there any analogy or partners maybe that you're looking for? So if anyone is listening here that maybe they can partner with, or because we're all about connecting the dots here on Two Mics Up. So are there any like best partnering practices, or people that you might be interested in partnering with, that maybe if they're listening, maybe can reach out to you and use your information?
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer is, we're always looking to partner with different companies, different organizations, different groups, different OEMs, different utilities, you name it, different organizations. Feel free, reach out. If there's a way that we can work together, we will do it. One of our strong suits is the fact that we're able to partner with just about anyone. We're able
Hmm.
to work with just about anyone. That's kind of been our philosophy. How do you grow electric vehicles? How do you grow electric vehicle adoption? By working with partners in the industry. So if there's orgs out there that say, hey, we think this would be a great idea, how can we implement it, reach out. You can reach out to our website, you can reach out directly to us on social media. We're very quick to respond. We would love to work with you.
Man, that right there is just sensational. And we just gonna leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here today. I don't care, what you do. Please go give this a read, a follow, a listen. Spark Charge is a name that we should all, especially if you're EV owners, should be accustomed with. I don't know how you're currently working to go ahead and charge your vehicle, but I'm proud to say here on Two Mics Up, we're giving you the new and improved alternative to go ahead and get your vehicle charged for being on the road or doing whatever you do. Check them out. Before we close today, man, I just gotta go ahead and take a moment again to thank our partners, our platinum sponsors, TD3 Insurance, Riddick Entertainment, Bubbles and Brews. I want to thank my marketing and branding team over at 94 Media House for putting all of this together and opening up our brand new shop, www.2micsup.com/shop. Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube today, make sure you go ahead, subscribe, go down there to the bottom over there, hit that little bell, give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, leave us a comment. We want to know, we want to hear from you. We want to continue to give you great content. And like we always do before we close out the show, stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.